5 kills remaining.
Hey, what's up everyone? Larry Dingleberry back at it again, coming at you today with a breakdown on the classified Hunter's Faith gear set. And apparently I am right on time since we just got the patch 1.18 fixing that alpha bridge glitch, as well as the problem with the user interface at the optimization table that could reset your optimizations between sessions. So I'm really happy they fixed that, and I'm happy they did it with, pretty good timing. They fixed that pretty quick, so shout out to the developers for that. Also, I just broke 100 subscribers, so I would just like to take a second to thank you all so much. I really do appreciate that a lot. It really does help out the channel. So again, thanks for everyone, and here's to 1,000 subscribers. So either way, if you are new to the channel and you find this video helpful in any way, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content, and drop a comment down there. Let me know what you're thinking about these new gear sets, especially this Hunter's Faith. I'm not really the biggest sniper, but this one is pretty fun. Overall, I'm pretty much impressed with it. I was least excited for it during the global event, but now I'm kind of hooked. So let's get into it. Alright everyone, so really quick, let's go over the skills and talents, get those out of the way. Now, for this build I am going to be using the Tactical Scanner, because it has a higher crit hit damage percent than the Recon Pack Pulse that I usually use. The Recon Pack Pulse has a lower cooldown and higher crit hit chance, but I'm going for as much crit hit damage as possible. So when you hit those headshots, you want them to be as devastating as possible. Now, it's only a 1.2% difference here, but when you're running 10,000 firearms, it actually comes out to be a little bit. So just keep that in the back of your head as far as pulse goes. Now, I'm going to be going with the overdose. You can go with your booster shot, whatever you want. That's personal preference, obviously, but that's what I'll be using. And a recovery link. Since you are typically farther back, your teammates can't usually get to you all the time, and this will help you stay alive a little bit longer, I guess you could say. Now, if you want to be a little bit more risky, and you get your stacks up, pop that tac link and see what happens. You're going to melt whatever is in front of you. You hit something, and it's going down. I mean, it's kind of comical at times. So, if you want to play a little more risky and not have that backup recovery link, try that out. Don't overlook that. Now, as far as talents go, I really recommend Critical Save, using medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Because, if you're getting lit up with this low stamina, you pop your medkit, now your damage resistance is up by 20%, and you can kind of hop away, get around a corner or something, whatever you can do to stay alive. Now, I haven't really used this before, but I really feel like this is something that you can use a lot for this build. Since we're going to be in cover, I would say for the most part, sniping. You're not just going to be standing in the middle of nowhere, right? But completing a cover-to-cover move to increase weapon damage by 2% per meter covered for 5 seconds, up to a maximum of 30%. 30% more weapon damage on top of the 10,000 firearms you got is a huge deal, and this can definitely make or break a headshot, I guess you could say, or at least a one-shot headshot. So try that out. Let me know what you're thinking about that. Now, I have tech support on because killing a hostile while any skill is deployed to extend any active skill's duration by 10%. Throw your pulse out there. If you're 1-2-shotting somebody, you get it, for another 10 seconds or 10% longer, and that can really help out. Now, everyone knows, if you've ever watched any of my other videos, I am a huge fan of this, one is none, and I think it's kind of a must-have on this build since we're going to be aiming for the head as much as possible. Headshot a hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. So, you have a real low mag size, and, we're aiming for the head regardless. This will help you out a lot. So, keep that in the back of your head. And other than that, guys, let's go on to the character sheet really fast. And I just want to kind of show you a few numbers that you might want to be a little concerned with. You want your crit hit chance, damage, and headshot damage as high as possible. If you're going to be going for those one-shot headshots, you want that headshot damage as much as possible. The chance is obviously very low on here. It's just what I have on the gear pieces itself. So it's not like having a submachine gun. You got that automatic 20-something% on top of it. you're at the base 22%. Now you throw that pulse out there, you get it up there, you know, high 30s, you're doing okay. You know, it definitely helps. Now when it hits, your damage is 119%, pretty good I'd say, and your headshot damage is 226%. So they feel it when you hit them in the face, or they don't feel it, they just go right down. So those are 3 numbers that you definitely want to spec for as much as possible, I would recommend, and just, again, get your damage up as much as possible. So let's take a look at the actual build. And here it is. Now, as you can see, I am a total glass cannon, but that's okay. It's alright. I will show you why that's alright in just a little bit, but I want to go over the weapons first because that is pretty much crucial for optimizing your damage output as much as possible. The secondary, use whatever you're comfortable with. I just chose the house because it does a lot of damage up close in case somebody runs up behind you, you know, and, you know, catch you off guard, you get into a pinch. Remember, you have a lot of firearms, so if they're a little bit squishy and not the best of shot, you can put them down pretty easily. So definitely run with something that you're just comfortable with. That's really all I can recommend with that. Now, as far as the M700 Carbon goes, you need that or that M44 Custom because it has so many mod slots. It has all the mod slots available for it, and that will make a big difference. For instance, if you compare that to this M700 Tactical, first notice that it has a 7% less headshot damage than the Carbon, the 163% compared to the 170%, but the base damage is 171,000 compared to 166,000, and the Carbon is fully modded out. So you would think, well, it's only missing 1 mod slot, you know, not that big of a difference, and it has that higher base damage. Nope. Even having the same roll, brutal, deadly, elevated, same thing. This Carbon will be hitting for over 1.5 million. The Tactical was hard to break, 1.4. So you're talking, you know, over 100,000 plus hit points, which to me is a pretty big deal. So that's about it for the weapons. I just had to get that out of the way, show you that you really do need that that Carbon or the M44 Custom to get as much damage output as you possibly can. Now, with that being said, you don't always need 2 million, you know, to take somebody down one shot. You know, like this poor guy. Watch this. So as you can see, you don't really always need that, you know, crazy 2 million whatever headshot crit shots. You know, it all depends more on what you're running, what they're running, you know, how good you're both doing, you know, skills, talents, you know, there's a lot of variables for that. So if you don't get that one shot headshot every time, don't be bummed. And, you know, what's wrong with 2 or 3 shots anyways? As long as you're putting them down quick, you know, you're doing your job. So that's about it for the weapons. Now let's actually look at the build and what it does, because we need to go over that real quick. The 2-piece gives you that 20% optimal range. The 3-piece gives you 10% headshot damage. The 4-piece gives you the talent Hunter's Faith. Each consecutive shot with a bolt-action marksman rifle that hits an enemy deals 3% more damage. The damage bonus is increased by 4% for every 3,000 firearms. Finally something again, then we can kind of spec into firearms instead of stamina or electronics. But either way, the bonus damage is removed once a shot misses the target, upon weapon swap or reload, or after 10 seconds. So you are always on a clock. You got that 10 seconds, so you kind of have to be a little bit more active, but still play it smart, you know. And you are going by that 3,000 firearm increment. So we have that 3% base damage, and at 9,000 stamina, you would be at 12% plus that 3%, and so every bullet would be 15 on the stack, 15% damage increase on the stack per bullet. So I hope I explained that. I'm sorry if I didn't. It's a little bit complicated, but moving on to the 5-piece gives you another 20% optimal range with another 10% headshot damage. So we're sitting at 40% optimal range with another 20% headshot damage. Now again, with 10,000 firearms, that 20% headshot damage, that's a big deal. And the 6-piece here gives you Hunter's Precision. I love this. Headshots double the gained increased damage bonus. 2 consecutive missed shots are needed to lose the bonus damage. And so, I mean, for people like me that are not the best of snipers, needing 2 consecutive missed shots to lose the bonus, that's awesome. As well as headshots double the gained increase. So instead of just doing that 15% damage, you're now going to be getting that 30% damage. 30 on a stack instead of the 15. You get your stack up much quicker, but obviously it's a little harder to always pick those headshots. But it is what it is, guys. It's a nice set, and this is why I'm just saying go all firearms, because you're a bolt action. You have a bolt action rifle. You're only going to be putting so many rounds down range at a time. I don't care what your mods are. So I just think it's better to spec everything into firearms compared to stamina. If you feel like you're squishy, you could always put a stamina mod on here or there, but just remember, you're going to be sacrificing valuable damage at a distance, and again, just bolt action rifle. That's all I can say. So other than that, the chest piece that I have here is obviously rolled to firearms with health on a kill, health and ammo capacity. I have 2 firearms with health mods on there. The mask, again, rolled to firearms with crit chance, damage to elites in case I go into PvE. And we got firearms with skill haste mod on there, just so get our pulse back as much as we can. The knee pads here are rolled for firearms with crit damage. Got a little bit of resistance there with increased kill XP. Again, I just left that just in case go into PvE. And it has a firearm with skill power mod on there. Just get a little bit more power when you pop your heal. And the performance mod is a 2% pulse crit hit chance. So the holster, let's look at that, is obviously across the board everything, but it has the 4% crit hit chance to it, and it has a 4.5% pulse duration mod on there, so just keep your pulse as long as possible, I guess. We have the gloves here rolled for firearms. You got a perfect roll on there. That's pretty good. And the 12% marksman rifle damage and the crit hit chance and damage on there is pretty good too. So moving on to the backpack, we got rolled to firearms with crit hit damage and a little bit of bleed resistance. I left that bleed resistance because a lot of predators running around out there, so I just left that as is. With firearms with skill haste mod as well, and 2 more 2% pulse crit hit. Oh, well, one's a crit hit chance and one's a crit hit damage mod. So again, just across the board, just trying to get as much crit as possible. But really, that's about it, guys. That's the build. Everything is firearms on top of firearms. So let's actually take a look at how this actually plays out. So again, since we have that 9,000 benchmark beaten by a little bit there, the body shot should be 15. Cool, we got 15 there, so we're at 30. Now let's see, a headshot should take us to 60. Alright, and look at those numbers, that's not bad. 800,000, so we're at 100, and these aren't even crit shots. That was. Let's see, now we're going to pulse it. Let's see, 150, or 1.5 million right there. 150. 1.5 million, I mean, again, the crit chance is pretty low, but at the same time, you're still just doing over 1 million just based. I mean, there's a 1.5. You get the feel for it. And even at a distance too, I mean, this thing still definitely does some damage. I mean, get those stacks up, and I think the weapon's pretty good too, because it doesn't have a whole lot of recoil. So you can see we're still hitting over 1 million. I mean, that range on there's 1.4 million. I mean, that's pretty good. So again, guys, if you found this helpful in any way, if you are new to the channel, definitely subscribe, smash that like button, and drop a comment down there. Let me know how you're running this build. I'd be interested to see how other people are doing this, and if there's any way I missed on how to get any more damage output or anything like that. So until next time, guys, you take it easy. I'll see you then. Later. Alright everyone, so here we are at Lexington, about to start off the annual build test. This is kind of becoming a little bit of a habit for me, but I feel like it's beneficial because I get to show you guys how the build is going to actually act and perform before you waste any time on it. Maybe this is your thing, maybe it's not. I'm not typically the biggest sniper in the world, so kind of keep that in mind when I'm up here trying to take out these NPCs. You might be able to do a little better than me, but regardless, this is a very fun and strong build to use from a distance, and you'll see that here in just a second. But regardless, I wanted to go over that one talent, Tactical Advance. Now, I understand we can all read, and, well, most of us can, and, you know, we already went over it earlier, but I just wanted to kind of show you how that might play out in either a PvE or a PvP situation. Now, obviously you're in cover, you kind of see where you want to go to, and the farther the better, because meters equals percentage, and then you're in cover, and bam, you can take an extra shot there, you know, and just get a little bit of a damage increase. Now, same thing in a retreat situation, run backwards, bam, okay. Now you're automatically in cover, and as soon as those guys round the corner, you can put a hurt on them, and you get that little bit of damage increase. Now, I have elevated on my rifle, so I do have to get up high here just to get a little bit of that extra damage. So let's pulse these guys and see what we can do here. Let's check out this guy's head and see what we can do. Okay, he went down with one. He went down with one. No, hit him in the chest, so... Alright, you know, it's working alright. And you can kind of just pick your shots. I mean, these guys are stupid. They're just sitting there with their heads sticking out. Look at this guy. Come on. You're wasting my time, bud. And, you know, there it is. But either way, let's see. You can see, you know, I'm getting shot a little bit, and it's not really doing much. And he's down. 2 shots, and it's over with. So, I mean, that was quick, guys. And that's kind of taking your time, not even really doing too much. So, again, I hope this kind of helped you out, you know, figure out if you want to use this build or not. It is a little bit tricky, but if used properly, it can definitely do a lot of damage. So if you found this helpful in any way, definitely smash that like button, subscribe for future content. That really does help out the channel, and drop a comment down there, let me know what you're thinking about this build and how you're running it. So until next time, guys, take it easy. I'll see you then. Later.